Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Prison Bosses. Today, I'm here with, extreme excitement. I know it's season two now, but happy to finally have my brother. And we use the term brother very loosely as a people at times, but this is someone that, I've literally known for years now. Our kids went to the same daycare when they were little 3, 4, 5 year olds, and now they're in their upper teens. And so I could really say I sat here and I watched this brother grow his business. He has the longest standing business in downtown Albany, black owned. Probably the largest clothing store, definitely the largest clothing store in our region, our area. He's a real solid dude. We've done some reentry work together. And with that being said, it brings me great honor to introduce my good brother Angelo, aka Justice Maddox, to the show. Angelo, happy to have you, bro.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. Yo, this is a great opportunity, man. And I just look at it like just us chopping it up, man. And like we
Yes, sir.
always do, man. We always
Yes,
building,
sir.
we always connecting our minds and bringing things to the table about different business ventures that we got going on, life ventures, and just things in general. You know what I mean? So it's an honor to be on this platform. So I'm looking forward to just diving in and getting to it, man. Let's go.
All right, same here, bro. So, bro, for the people who don't know, first let them know the name of your company. Tell them a little bit about your store, what you do, and then we'll dive into the backstory from there.
Yes. First and foremost, Angelo Justice Maddox Jr. I'm the owner of Fresh and Fly Clothing.
Mm,
Fresh in, fresh out is the brand. Fresh and Fly Clothing is the clothing store, the brick and mortar, the business that has basically been parent company to so many other things that I got going on right now. Either swag program, which stands for Succeeding with Attainable Goals, Motivation Money Making Monday LLC,
mhm,
which is
mhm.
a multimedia platform that I connect businesses and other individuals that's doing great things within the community and just highlight them weekly. And last but definitely not least, I recently became an author. I made my first literary offering to the world, what changed the world
Mm.
by changing yourself. So those are a little bit of the things that I got going on. Been in business here in Albany for a little bit over 17 years now at
Oof.
13 South Pearl Street, where we don't create swag, we enhance it. So
Talk
been
that.
in this location, you know what I'm saying, for like I said, for over 17 years I've been in business. I've been in this specific location at 13 South Pearl Street for a little over 11 years. And I'm very
Mm.
proud to say that this is one of the is the longest running business in this
That's right.
location and has
That's right.
previously been held by big brand businesses like
Hmm.
Wendy's and Blimpies, and it's always been a restaurant. But I just had the vision enough to turn this space into a clothing store, and I look at it like it was just meant for me. And in a
That's a
sense
fact.
that I made it work. You know what I'm saying? And I made it grow into a successful clothing business.
And yo, for all of our listeners out there, that's no little accomplishment right there. Most businesses fail within the first 2 years. 5 years is if you get past the 5 year mark, you're starting to feel confident. If you get past the 10 year mark, it's like you've been stamped. And so when you hear a brother say he's been in business for 17 years, like that is big kudos, and you don't hear that every day. But so just let's dive into your background a little bit. Tell us a little bit. I know where you from, and really more so, how'd you end up in jail and at what age?
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, man,
Bro.
and the way that I was just running. Listen, man, I start by saying this. I pretty much have always been who I am today, just in
Hmm.
different lights and different stages of my growth and development. But
Yes.
at that time, I was just, coming back and forth, going to school. I was at 17 when I got incarcerated, but
Mm.
it was just basically just I wouldn't even say the wrong crowd. I just had my own mindset about things, and I was just a rider with my peoples. Whatever my peoples got into, I got into. And
Hmm.
when things hit the fan, things hit the fan. It was just like it was the way things were at that time. You know what I'm saying? And just my
Hmm.
mindset. And I was just like, when my peoples got into certain situations, I was just a part of it, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And when things had to be taken to another level, it just was. That was just the environment that we was in at that time. and I got arrested for attempted murder
Mm,
and locked up at 17. Went through the
mm.
process. Fortunately enough, it was during the time period when everybody would stand up and wasn't telling on everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
I ended
right.
up copping out to the gun charge and doing the 1 to 3. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
Locked up
gotcha.
for 3 years. Went did that whole 3 years
You
and maxed
you
out
did the whole 3 years
did the
out of
whole
the
three
one to
years.
three?
Yes, I did.
Did
Yeah.
they hit you at the board, or was it you was
Yeah,
just young and still moving how you was moving at the time?
well, yes, they hit me at the book. I knew that was gonna be a given just because of the
Mhm.
nature of the offense. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right,
they hit
right.
me at the board. Actually, I rewinded a little bit because I was on the island for 11 months.
Mm. And
And
this is when the island was the island,
yeah,
right?
this
Like
was
it was
274. This was back
survival
in
of the
9 6,
fittest.
9 7. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was on the island in 9 6. And Mod 2 not shot out, but the brothers that I met there, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm,
still
mhm.
pretty much affiliated with, whether loosely or not. And then when we run across each other, we still solid. And in fact,
Yep.
it was a brother that I knew from Mod 2 that I just recently reconnected with, and it was just like, yo, you.
Mm.
And he was like, yo, Judge, that's you, and it was just all love, like, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It
Yep.
was good to see him still
Mm.
growing, still building, and see how he evolved as a man, even after doing a long stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
just for me, you know what I'm saying, it was intrinsically rewarding because it,
Mm.
it it showed me like what the position that I was in when he came into the store, and he didn't expect to see nobody that he was familiar with, and us all being from the city, being up
Mm.
here, he's like, "Yo, that's you," and I was like, "Yeah, man, it was good." I mean, I called him by the name that I knew him by when we was locked up, and he was like, "Yeah, no, man," you know what I'm saying? And yo, it was just all love, you know what I'm saying? And it was just good,
Uh,
like, yo, you know what I mean? And it was an inspiration to him because it
mm.
made him see like, yo, you know what I mean, brothers out here still doing the right thing. They all
Right.
out here owning businesses, even after
Yes.
being locked up at a young age and all that. They
Yes.
made that transition to being on the right path and being having levels of success.
That's
But
a
while
fact.
while I was on the island, um, I had went through all the pretrial hearings because I was going to take it to trial. I was going
Mm.
through all the pretrial hearings, and they had the 180 day because like after all of the motions, they say, yo, you got 6 months to take it to trial. They ain't
Yep.
have nothing really else to stand on because nobody was showing up to court. You know what I'm saying? They subpoenaed the victim in the situation. He was refusing to come through. So
Mm.
I was just like, your lawyer was like, my lawyer was like, more or less, they gonna come with an offer soon. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was thinking that it was gonna be like a 3 to 6 or 2 to 4 and something like that. So I'm like, all right, boom. So I'm more than prepared for that in my mind. So I
Right.
went back. You go back to court. Know what I mean? From the island, I'm sitting in the cell. They come and bring me out to get in, and my lawyer was like, yo, you ain't gonna believe this right here. You know what I mean? They came with a 1 to 3, and I'm like, what you waiting on? You know
Right,
what
right,
I'm saying?
right.
I already
You
have
already got 11 months in, right?
11. So I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
boom, it's gonna be 18 months before my I go to the board. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then 9 times out of 10 they're gonna hit me. He told me that, and
Mm.
I'm gonna end up doing the CR. So
Mhm.
boom, I was like, yeah, let me get that. I took that. You know what I'm saying? Went up north, and when it came to going to the board, as expected, they hit me at the board. I was
Mm.
coming up on my CR date, and
Mm.
I ended up getting into an altercation right before my CR date, and then I went to the box
Maxed out.
and I finished my time in the box, and I just maxed out in the box because actually at that time they was giving extended sentences if they didn't give you an extra.
Mm.
Even let me rewind and let me explain it correctly. They was giving extended sentences. I only had this incident happen in June, and I was to be released in August.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the that I was gonna get my CR date in August. So that would have been 2 years in, and they gave me a sentence for the assault of 24 months in the box. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
luckily and fortunately enough, they didn't give me a new
New
sentence or
charge.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean, a new
Yeah.
charge.
Yep.
So I just finished out my stretch the last year in the box, and you know what I'm saying, I just maxed out.
Yeah,
So
hold one sec, one sec. Let me just I just gotta say a couple of things real quick, bro. one, for the listeners who don't know, CR dates is your conditional release date, and
Hmm.
so essentially, I believe that's when you served 3/4 of your time.
Absolutely.
And so that's like a date that you're supposed to get out as long as you didn't have got into any other trouble. Um, in this instance, just got into a little situation, so now the CR date is null and void, and meaning he had to max out and do his whole bid time. So he had to do that whole 3 years that he owed him. And what he's saying is, while you're in prison, you can actually catch another charge. So you might have went there with a 1 to 3, and he
Hmm.
could have easily have caught another 3, 4, 5 years just from that situation. And then
Absolutely.
lastly, the last thing I want to leave y'all with is, here you have a kid at that point. He's still a young man, brain isn't even fully developed. And you said you had to do a year in the box. Like,
Yes.
that's a year of solitary confinement by yourself. I know the rules have changed now where they don't allow that to happen, but
Mhm.
this brother right here had to go through that. And so with that, I'll turn it back to you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point to highlight, and in the sense that they have changed the laws, which is a benefit to IU, but
Hmm.
in all essence too, it has its challenges with the way that the new shoot laws is set up as well
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the facilities. But at that time, they was giving out stretches in the box. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me
Hmm.
24 months in the box. I got
Mm,
sent to Southport Correctional. I went to Kawasaki. Then from Kawasaki, I went to downstate. Then downstate, I went to Southport. So
mm,
Southport, that was a 23-1 facility where they
hmm,
had levels to it. You know what I mean? The first level, you only get one shower a week, no commissary, no
mm,
nothing. You know what I'm saying? No,
mm,
I forget whether or not it's a phone call or
mm.
not on the first level. I don't think so. Second level, you get 2 showers a week. You know what I'm saying? Still no commissary. And then on the third level, you know what I'm saying? You get 3 showers a week and you get commissary. But commissary was only candy bars, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And toiletries and
Yep.
stamps. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing else that you could get in that box. But you know what I'm saying? Truth of the matter, like on the tiers, like 21 cells, and the brothers, we made everything work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
we are
Hmm.
very ingenuity
Facts.
related people. Like we'll
Facts.
make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when
Facts.
we in times where we have less, we always make do, and we always make the best out of our
Talk
situation.
that.
So
Talk that.
I mean that whole experience for me was the time where I really dove into myself and really started to learn what direction that I wanted to go in. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
I definitely knew that a change needed to take place,
Yep.
and really the most crucial point in that whole process for me was after I caught the offense. They sent me to the box. They sent me over to Kawasaki, and my mother came up to visit me.
Hmm.
She hadn't been able to see me like for 2 weeks. Like and literally before I caught the offense, I had just went to go see her on the visiting floor. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2 weeks before my CR date. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, mom,
I'll be home soon.
yeah, I'm
Yep.
coming home. At this time, I'm like, Anichi was hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I want that blue Anichi suit that I saw on the Source magazine. Have that
uh,
sent up to me. You know what I'm
uh,
saying? Come pick me up in the limousine. You couldn't tell me I
uh.
was pink white. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, come pick me up in the limousine. She was like, yo, I'm gonna get you the suit, but I don't know about that
We ain't
limousine.
doing the limo.
You know what I mean? Get that out of your head. You bugging right now. But I was just like, yo, at that time, that was my mom. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to come home, about to touch, you know what I'm saying? And that was my whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
she was feeling good. The family was like excited that, yo, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to come home. And 2 days later, got into an incident. Boom, you know what I'm saying? And she wasn't able to get in contact. And I called my mother
Yep.
either
Yep.
every day or every other day just to check in and just be like, yo, everything good. Just let her know
Hmm.
that I'm good. And other family members as well. But during that whole ordeal, which took about 10, 11 days, you know what I'm saying, from the time I caught the offense to the time that I went to the box to the time that I got sent out to Kawasaki, it was like 11 days, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I
Mm.
wasn't in contact with them at all. You know what I mean? So she distraught. She like, yo, what's going on? Where you at? Where you at? You know what I'm saying? Or what's going on with my son? And they
Yep.
not giving her no real
No
solid
info.
information.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? They was
Yep.
just like, yo, it was an incident here, boom, boom, boom. He's not here or whatever. You know what I mean? So when she finally tracked me down and she's on the visiting floor, as soon as I came to the visiting floor, she started bawling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
I felt
mm,
like, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Her exact words to me was, I feel like I'm never gonna see you home again. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And then
mm.
I'm like, that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like,
Facts. Facts.
damn, man, like, you know, and it made me, it that switch went off in my head to how everything is connected. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like, no
Facts.
matter what you do,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? The things that you do, they don't just affect you and impact you, they affect everybody that's
Everybody.
around. The
That's
people
right.
that love you, the people
Yep.
that care for you. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Even the victim in the situation or the other
Facts.
person, they
Facts.
get affected. They family get
Yep.
affected. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody is affected by whatever the situation is, you know what I'm saying, that you get into or that you allow yourself to be in. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I started to shape my mind and shape my whole character to make sure
Mm,
that I'm doing things that positively impact my family and my friends and my loved ones and those that I come in contact with. And I really started using my head differently, you know what I'm saying, in the sense that, yo, you know, you got to make sure that you not staying away from negative
yes.
influences.
Yes.
One,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Two, making sure that one powerful lesson, follow your gut. Cause I probably could have
Mm.
avoided that situation if I would have followed my gut. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
and,
Yes,
and I
sir.
wrote about this in my book, Change the World by Changing Yourself, because the
Hmm.
incident happened over a chain. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? If I would have followed my gut, I probably could have avoided the situation. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? But
Yep.
it wasn't it. But once it's up, it's up.
It's
And
up. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, at the time, you know, I'm like, yo, you about to go home, leave it alone, this, that, and the third. But you know, you got that. That's what the guard on my shoulder telling
One
me.
side
And
and
then
on the
the
other.
devil on the other side, like,
Yeah.
nah, you
Yeah.
can't let that
Yeah.
ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
and you know what, bro? You said some really impactful stuff because a couple things I want to unpack is even like you said, when you were in that box, it us as a people historically, whenever, no matter even when we're at the worst of our times, we
Mhm.
always have figured out ways to survive, get through it, make the best of it, pull ourselves through it, stay positive in those moments, and figure it out till we get out of it.
Mhm.
And it's no different upon release as you're starting your business or you're in the corporate world. There's going to be obstacles and barriers, but if you could remember those tough times and how you got through those, you can't tell me you can't make it through those brighter days when things are a little bit better. um Also, you just touched on the power of man just having a little foresight
Mhm.
and and going back to that, all of us have something in us that tells us when we're doing something right. That intuition, right? Even animals have intuition. That's what separates us from animals. They act off of strictly intuition, while we have the opportunity to utilize our brains and we have intuition. Oftentimes, a lot of times, people push the intuition to the side. That's a special skill set right there. When you feel like something ain't right, it's probably not right. And it's probably you should leave it alone. And so we got to learn to adapt that intuition into our thinking process and utilize it all together. Like, nah, this don't feel right. Something's telling me I need to leave this alone. Let me leave it alone. Cause I
Mhm.
found when I listen to my intuition and I allow that to drive the whip, it
Leave it alone.
always puts me in the best situations.
Right.
Back to you, bro.
That's a fact. Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
Because
yo, you know
even if
what?
you
I,
was
I
wrong,
actually have a
you're right.
fact. Facts. Even when
Yeah,
you wrong, it was right. That's right. So
right.
now I
You know what I'm
was gonna
saying?
ask you what were the key turning points of your life, but I think you already talked on that. Like seeing your mother tell you that she was worried she would never see you on the outside. I'm sure that sparked it. Now, but
Yeah.
can you describe some of the obstacles that you've encountered and how you overcame them on your path to success? Because you had that moment, but now I'm sure you're now being intubated with obstacles that are going to stop you from being successful. What were some of those obstacles and how were you able to get past them?
When I came home or
Hmm.
when I was
Hmm.
locked
Hmm.
up?
Hmm.
When I came home.
Now you're home. Now you're home. You're released. You know what I mean? And trying to get right back to regular life, I'm assuming. What does that look like? What kind of obstacles? You're still a young man, so I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of your same people that's around you. You're back in the same environments, etc.
Mhm. Well, you know what I mean. I made the best decision that I probably could have made. And when I
Mm-hmm.
came home, I came up to Albany, New York. You know what I'm saying? Instead of staying in Brooklyn. know what I'm saying? Because I knew like
Mm.
one of the most important things that I discovered while I was locked up was that how important education was. You know what I mean? I saw like in I had this epiphany or aha moment when I was going back and forth to court. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember sitting in the bullpens, waiting to go see the judge, you know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing all of these brothers fight with one another, you know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Do dumb stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'm
mhm.
just like, yo, most of the brothers, and I know them from back at the island. Know what I'm saying? We there, know what I'm
Right,
saying? We
right.
go up to the school floor together, know what I'm saying? And these brothers can't pass the simple, know what I mean, GED prepared test, know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And I'm like,
mm,
yo, let me, because once let, let me put a story in perspective. When I was on the island, when I first got there, they give you the test, know what I'm saying, so that you
mhm,
can whether or not you're going to school or you are ready to take the GED. I took the test and I was ready to take the GED right away. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying? So I got my GED probably like 3 or 4 months. I forgot how long it took for me to actually receive it, but I went, took the GED the next time that they have it around, the have it had the cycle around for it to be taken, and I passed it the first time through, and they gave me a job on the school floor in the
mm,
island. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And
mm.
a little funny, but historical point which really connected. Like one of my favorite stories, shows is The Wire. You know what I'm saying? If not one
Facts,
of my
yeah,
favorite. You know
facts,
what I'm saying? Like yo,
facts, yep.
sis, the cop, the female cop, I don't think that
Mhm.
she was
I know
Oriental.
I know you
I
talk
want
about.
Riggs or something like that. Briggs, I forgot her name right now. No, I'm saying it slips my thoughts. But she was doing a poetry class on the island at that time. You know what I'm saying? Right,
Oh,
back in '96 and '97, she was coming
wow,
up to the
okay.
island and doing a poetry class on the GED floor, on the GED side. And yo, I wasn't writing poetry at the time, but just
Mhm.
to see her, I was just like, yo, I'm going to that class. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like, you know what I mean? Yo,
I'ma
I'm
figure
like,
this out.
exactly. Oh, I'm going to that class. I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the teachers that was there at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm fortunate enough to be in contact with a few of them now, and it's just like
Fire,
to
fire.
see the transition. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm,
yo, shout out to them because they are really like pivotal people that actually started to create the change and saw something in me that I
mhm,
didn't see in myself at that time. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
I don't know if I can
mhm.
say names up here, but you know what I mean?
Feel free, I mean,
Yo,
it's up to you. It's up to you.
Miss Grayman, know what I'm saying?
Okay, shout
Miss
her out.
Grayman, she
Shout
was
out to you.
definitely instrumental. She was from Brownsville, know what I'm saying?
Fire.
And that's one of the good things about the island that they have people that's actually from the neighborhoods
Right,
working
right.
in the facilities, know what I'm saying? So
Yep,
they have a
yep.
lot of close relate. Like she was one of the instrumental ones. She saw something in me and was like, yo, you could do this poetry. And she actually had me doing
Mm,
poetry there while I was on the island where you have like
mm.
uh 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 auditorium, not really in the auditorium, but mainly like in a gymnasium or something. You know what I'm saying? We
Gotcha.
all put all the different dorms together or the mods together
Mhm,
and we just all come together and she's like, yo, go do that poem that you wrote. You know what I'm saying? And I was
mm.
just like, come on. So, but you know what I'm saying? But I had the courage enough to just do that, and it just made me like it prepared me for exactly a lot of the things that I'm doing now. Because
Hey, that's
if I
right.
was, if I'm like, yo, if I'm doing them in jail with all of these, you know what I'm saying, thugs and hard criminals, but all in all, they just, you know what I'm saying, young men and women that's
Fact,
lost, you know what I'm saying,
fact,
that
fact,
trying to
facts.
find their way, that was
Yep,
just like me, you know what I'm saying, at
yep,
that time.
yep,
So,
yep.
you know what I mean? It just put me in a position to connect with them in that way.
No,
So,
I could agree. I could agree more.
which was powerful. And when I first came home, I made that decision to
Mm,
come up to all because I was like, yo, education is key. Like I seen a lot of brothers that was continuously falling victim to recidivism
yes,
because
yes,
they
yes,
lacked education. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes,
They
yes.
didn't have no outs. They didn't have many options
Mhm,
outside of going back to the streets when they went
mhm,
home. So I'm like, yo, I'm
mhm,
gonna make education a priority, and I want to go to school when I get out. I had my GED. I went to SUNY Albany because I was like, yo, I want to go to SUNY Albany. Boom, boom, boom. They denied me when I first went. You know what I'm saying? When I
'cause of
first
the felony?
for not because of the fact because I caught a YO. I had a
Oh,
youthful
good.
offenders
All right,
panel.
all right. Youthful
So
offender. Yep, yep.
um so it wasn't that, but that was an issue because I didn't know any better at the time. Because I did write that I was a felony, but I got told later
Mm.
on that, yo, you don't even have to let nobody
Mhm.
know that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I didn't know at
Mhm.
the time. But that wasn't the main reason. I don't think that that was the main reason this first time around. But they made it a reason the second time, and I'll get to that. The first time, I applied to SUNY. They said, nah, no, I'm saying you got the GED. Boom, go to a community college and see how that work out. Boom,
Mm.
and then come back to us. So I went to Hudson Valley, graduated from Hudson Valley in '02,
Okay.
and in '02 I reapplied to SUNY. You know what I'm saying? My grades was up.
Mhm.
I had
Mhm.
references, everything like that. Then they made the charge issue, and they said that,
Mhm.
yo, you got to get character letters. I had to fight tooth and nail to get into the school at that time. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to fight me on the fact that I did have a felony, that I brought that up when I first applied. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Mm.
And I had to get through that, and had tons of character letters. People
Mhm.
came on my
Mhm.
behalf just to speak and say, like, yo, he's a good man. You know what I'm saying? He's
Good
gonna come
dude.
in here
Yep.
and do his thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that ended up being the case, and they finally accepted me, and I did what I had to do and graduated from Hudson Valley. I wanted to go into the business program, but at Hudson Valley, I
Ah.
had uh, I was in individual studies, and I more or less took more psychology courses than business courses, and it would have
Mm.
took me a whole nother year to graduate with my business diploma at SUNY, and instead of the psych. But I had all the credentials and credits enough to go into the psychology program. So I went into the psychology program and had a minor in business,
Okay.
and the psychology served me better in business probably than my business courses. You know what I'm saying? So
Off that.
anybody that's in business, I encourage you to educate yourself with psychology, because in business, what we deal with
Mm.
people all day, every day. And
Mm.
psychology is the study of human behavior. So the psychology has served me just as much, if not more, than all the business courses that I've taken in school. So
Yo, that's real. That's real right there. I never even would have. I wouldn't have correlated the two, but you just saying that, it actually makes perfect sense why that does really work well for someone who would go to school for business. And I could tell you, um, education is what it's all about. That was my next question. Like, this is why the energies are right there, because I don't even got to ask the question. You just going into it. But I believe personally that education and self improvement is one of the keys. And so you tap dance all over it. The commitment to move from Brooklyn, put yourself in a whole new area, probably where you didn't even really know nobody,
mhm,
recreate who you were during that time, go back to school, make the sacrifices, and being resilient enough that when you heard no, you turn that no into a maybe, figured out what you need to do to turn that maybe into a yes, and then you went and did the shit. And so you kudos to you, bro, for that. Cause that's real, and that's really what it takes for us to grow. And for all of our people that's listening, that's behind them walls, them gates, or in those camps, that's what you're gonna have to do so you can be successful long term.
that's a
You
fact.
have to be a forever learner, and you have to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that resiliency is key. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just look at no's as the pathway to a yes. You know what I'm saying? So when I
Talk
hear
that.
them, you know what I mean,
Talk that.
once you make a decision in your mind, and I think that the if not all my successes have come from me making a decision in my mind. Once I
Right.
decided that I wanted to
Right.
do something, I ain't hear no. I
That's
just was
right.
like, yo, even if somebody told me no, it was just like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Facts.
figure out how
Yep.
to get that. I'm gonna figure out how to get to what I want to get. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
In the long run, it might take me a little bit longer, but I'm gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
it's all about that resiliency and making that decision in your mind to know that, yo, that's what I want. I'm going after it, and I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna let nothing stop me from getting it.
So
So
now, how did you go from going to school and taking that course? Because most people who go to school oftentimes end up going to school and then working for an employer
mhm.
with that degree. How did you take that and ended up starting and going for yourself?
Well, I always like I think I started off this conversation by saying I always been who I am today, just
Right.
at different levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So even when I was in the street, I always took like the business boss position. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
always, you know what I'm saying? I always wanted to do for myself. I always wanted to, I
Right.
was always into turning one into two and two into four.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yep.
And turning over money and making money on my own. You know what I'm saying? So um, when I was in school, in order to subsidize my income and make more money, I was known as hustle man. Yeah, I used to every day I'm going to school, whether I was at Hudson Valley or even when I transferred to SUNY. I carried books on one side of my arm, and I had my incense, my oils, my CDs, my DVDs on the other
So
side of my arm,
that's right.
and I was making money. This was back when CDs was $10 a pop, no less than that.
Mm,
You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
mm.
And I'm selling two for 15. I'll give you a deal, give you two for 15. And the DVDs was like $15, $20 at the time. You know what I mean? So at this time, I was making good money every single day, at least like $200 going to the campus
Let's
center
go.
every day. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? And this was during the time where Rockaway was hot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And me being from Brooklyn, I'm like, that's all I'm wearing. I'm not wearing nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Rock. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm wearing. I'm wearing Rockaway
Yeah,
every day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
everybody like, yo, where you getting them suits from? Where you getting them suits from? I'm like, I know I'm getting them from the town. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, all right, boom. So I started thinking, I'm like, me being who I am, I'm like, all right, boom. When I get my next student refund check, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take that money and I'm
Mm.
gonna go buy these suits wholesale. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm getting the my student refund loan check, I know that everybody else is getting their student loan refund check. So this is perfect timing. Everybody got money right now. So I'm gonna go
Let's
get
go.
these suits, bring them back, sell them to everybody that's been asking and more. You know what I'm saying? So that's how my that clothing business aspect started for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yo,
brought
that's
him back in the
fire.
trunk. Yeah,
If
man.
that ain't a hustler, what you call that? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. That's where that aspect started. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew that it would gradually move in a direction that eventually I'm gonna open up my brick and mortar store. And when I did the same thing at SUNY, I found out a way like how can I uh, sell my clothing inside the campus center. So you know I
Mm.
told they let me know that if I'm involved with an organization, you know what I'm saying, and I was with Asuba at the time. They said,
Mhm.
yo, as long as you give back a donation to the group, you know what I'm saying, to the organization, you can come and sell your products right in the campus center. I'm like, say less.
Say less.
So you know what I'm
Let's
saying?
get it.
So it was a
Yo,
win-win
so
situation. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
and I just wanted to point out real quick for the listeners, if it, you know, what just mentioned was the price of doing business. So he would have to give back in order to pursue his entrepreneurial dream, and that's the price of doing business. Just in general, there's always going to be some cost associated with you operating your business, and so don't be afraid to spend that money. Like, that's why it's called currency. That's why it's a flow. And when you stop the flow, you stop the flow from flowing back to you also. And so make those risks, take that risk, gamble on yourself, but know that there is a cost of doing business, and don't be afraid to spend that cost of doing business.
Yeah, yeah, that's 100% right, man. Like, you know what I mean? I have grown to understand that it's so important to make sure that everything that you're doing or whoever that you're collaborating with is a win-win situation. You don't want the other
That's right.
person to be shorted or anything like that or not getting what they supposed to get. You know what I mean? When
Fact.
everybody
Fact.
wins and everybody eats, everybody's doing well, everybody's happy, things are flowing. Just like you just said, that currency is going continuously and we want that money to continuously flow. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I had no problem at all giving back or kicking back a donation to them for allowing me to do what I do, you know what I'm saying,
That's right.
on a regular basis or whenever I could. You know what I mean? So that worked out well. I built solid relationships with them, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And then once I graduated,
relationships.
I was just like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I paid my dues, you know what I'm saying? I made my bones while I was in school. So I'm ready to, you know what I mean, go out and take the challenge of opening up my own brick and mortar. And like during that time period, also I worked. know what I'm saying? As
I
a
was
youth
just
kid,
about to ask you that.
yeah,
Like, yo, did you ever have a regular job, bro? I was about to say, I
yeah.
don't think you never worked a regular job. That'd have been fire.
Let's be clear, and
All
that's an important piece too, because when I came home, you know what I'm saying, I was working regular jobs. You know what I'm saying, I
right.
work as a janitor, I work as a
Mm,
truck dispatcher, I
mm.
worked I worked at Blue Cross, Red Cross Blue Shield. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Cleaning
yes,
up the lunch areas and all the janitor, or all basically a janitor of the whole Red Cross Blue Shield building. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
damn,
I did all of those jobs. And the important piece that I want to say with that is that I did it with a level of excellence. You know what I'm saying?
talk
Every
that,
time,
bro,
like whatever
talk that.
job that I had, you know what I'm
Yep,
saying? I put my stamp on it. And that's why
yes,
I tell people this all the time. The way that you do anything is the way that you do everything, because it's
everything.
important
Yes,
to,
yes,
yo, this ain't about you or just a job. Like I'm only working for this. They only giving me this. Nah, I'm putting my stamp on it. This is what I'm doing. And as a leader,
yes.
as a boss, you got to have that mentality in everything that you do. You want to do things with excellence. You know what I'm saying? So
Talk that.
I used to go a job that generally should take a person 5 or 6 hours. I used to go bust it out like 2.5 hours, boom, and I get
Mm,
the bill for the rest of the time that I'm there. But I'm allotted that amount of money or that
right.
time to, because that's what it's supposed. They had that schedule as taking this amount of time, and I made sure that everything was pristine. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So yeah, man. So
It
I
it
did
it's
all of those jobs.
yo, our listeners, that's a fucking jewel. There's no skipping the line. We do not live in a microwave society where it just happens overnight. I know Instagram is fooling a lot of y'all to think that. The reality is you're gonna have to start somewhere. For me, my opportunity came cleaning the toilets at a Marriott,
Mhm.
and it's a justice point though. When I showed up every day, I made sure I was the best goddamn toilet cleaner that hotel ever seen. And you know what I mean? And that began for me personally how I'm supposed to show up in everything I do. And now every single thing I do it to the best of my abilities. I don't care what it is. And I think that's something that all of us have to live with and walk with every day, making sure you're showing up the best form of you and you're giving 110%. Fuck 100%. Um, and so, how do you know how just some of those experiences in during the incarceration, working some of these jobs, how did that shape your perspective on business and entrepreneurship and help you be who you are today to our community?
One, tapping into the part about doing everything with excellence and making sure that you're putting your stamp on things. I I transferred that into my business as it stands. I truly believe, like, when you go into a person's business, you go
Mm-hmm.
into their mind. This is a piece of their
Mm-hmm.
mind. So like when you walk into my establishment, I want it to be clean. I want you to be know that you held and it looked at as a king or a queen. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
until
sir.
you show otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
when you
sir.
can walk through these doors, I want to lift you up. You know what I'm saying? And build you up, not just by giving you clothing and dressing you up, but internally as well. So like from day one
Mm-hmm.
with my establishment, I wrote when I was got to the part where I was working at as a youth care counselor, both at Northeast Parent Child Society as well as with Parsons right before I opened up Fresh and Fly. I was sitting down there doing the overnight, and this is where a big piece of the psychology aspect comes in, because I was just like, yo, I don't want my clothing store to just be a store where people just come buy clothing. I want to build a deeper relationship and
Mm-hmm.
rapport with my customers. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that.
So
I love
how can
that.
I do that? You know what I'm saying? So I constructed Fresh and Fly Golden Rules. You know what I'm saying? The golden rules is a 1 to 2, almost like a 10 crack commandment type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But for Fresh and Fly, that rules that, you know what I'm saying, I give to every customer that walk through the door. And real
What
quick,
are they? Yeah, yeah. What are
one,
they?
number one, keep God first. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
You
okay.
know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to keep that higher being, that higher power that's in your life, whatever it is, whether you Muslim, Christian, God body, you know what I'm saying? Keep God first, you know what I'm saying, in your life. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And make sure that you tapping into that source that power that created everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because it'll always guide you and lead you in the right direction. The
That's
second
right.
one is always be a man or woman of your word. You know what I'm saying? Stand on your word.
Mm.
Whatever comes out of your
Mm.
mouth, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you stand on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I will
sir.
make sure that those things that do come out of your mouth, you know what I'm saying, are right and exact. You know what I'm saying? And that
Yes,
you
sir.
actually accountable for those things that come out of your mouth.
Mm.
Because you know what I mean?
Accountable.
That would if you conscious of that on a daily basis, then the things you say you would hold your tongue a lot more. You know what I'm saying? You would think things through. And if you know that you can't follow through or come through on what you're saying, you won't
You
say
ain't
it.
gonna
You
say
know what I'm
it.
saying? Because
That's
you're
right.
gonna be held accountable for it.
That's right.
So that's number two, always be a man, woman of your word. The third one is if you are a king or queen, act like one. If you
Mm.
act like a peasant, you will be treated like one.
Treated
You know what I'm
as.
saying? So that's where that
Mm.
king or queen aspect come from. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so from the jump, I don't care if you looking bummy or you looking messed up or you're a homeless person. I treat every individual the same way. I lift them up. You know what I'm saying? From the
Mm.
start when I
Mm.
first come in contact with them. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And
That's
then
right.
I give them the opportunity to lead that in any type of way that they wanted to go. Either they're going to accept that and be lifted up by that and continuously in their way, or they're going to go the opposite way and do some tree type of stuff. And then I'm going to be like, all right, I see you for who you are.
I
You know what I'm
see where
saying?
you at,
You know what
right?
I'm saying? I see where you at. You know what I mean? I want to build you up. I want to lift you up and I want to uh, breathe life into you. But at the same
That's
time, you
right.
know what I'm saying? You got to take that breath of life in and reciprocate it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Um, number four, excuse me. Good is average. Always strive for greatness. You know what I mean? That's number four. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm addicted to greatness. You know what I'm saying? I'm addicted to great. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Yes,
good
sir.
is average. You know what I'm saying? I don't never just want to be good at anything. You know what I'm saying? I want to be great, and I wanted to
Mm.
push that along to everybody that I come in contact with. That I don't even say good
Mm.
morning no more. I say great morning. You know what I'm
Great
saying?
morning.
Every
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
great day, great. How you doing, man? You know, everything that I put that could say good, I say great because I want to strive for
Great.
that extra, put that
Mm.
extra emphasis on that.
I
You know what I
love
mean?
that. I love
Number
that.
five, you know what I'm saying, is stay sucker free. You know what I'm saying? Stay sucker
Woo.
free.
Woo.
I think Jay said it about it's a full-time job. You know what I'm saying?
Full
Staying sucker
time
free is a
job.
full-time job. You know what I'm saying? So all of those, you know what I mean, you got to stay away from haters,
Yes.
backbiters,
Yes.
envious individuals, people that
Yes.
ain't real right. Keep those people, places, and things out of your life. You know what I'm saying? That gotta
Mm.
be like a conscious everyday action. And you know, we big on saying stay out the way, but in reality, we just making sure that we stay in keeping those things away, you know what I'm saying,
Talk
and
that.
moving according to our everyday regular life, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Or our great life, as I should say, you know what I'm saying? So
Hey.
staying sucker free is definitely a full-time job, 24/7. Number six is karma is real. Do to others as you will want done to you. What goes
Ooh.
around comes around.
Ooh.
Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody
Yep.
is familiar with
Yep.
that rule. You know what I mean? Because karma is definitely real. You know what I'm saying? You want
Yep.
good things done and good energy you're coming your way, then you got to send that out. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That same
That's
way.
right.
What you want for yourself, you should want for other people, and you
That's
should
right. That's
admit
right.
that and give that out. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Number seven, always remember it was the turtle that won the race. Take your time, stay focused, and
Mm.
tenaciously pursue your goals. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That right there is like probably one of the biggest jewels that I carry with me on a daily
I
basis.
agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that played a big part in getting me locked up.
Mm.
But for the opposite, because I was speedballing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was
Yep.
moving too fast. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I had the mentality like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm gonna get to that. You know what I mean? So instead of just taking a deep breath and settling myself and probably thinking things through about a better action to take, I probably could have avoided again. I could have
Yep.
avoided a situation. You know what I'm saying that
Yep.
led me to being locked up. And you know the good thing or the thing about the universe and the creator, he keep presenting you with tests over and
That's
over
right.
again
You ain't
until
lying.
you pass. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And then
That's
you
right.
put that test behind you. You know what I'm saying? So I was confronted with a similar type test again while I was locked up, and it lost me my CR date. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Mm.
it was a second time around. Like yo, I'm like yo. you bugging out, man. And then when my mother said what she said to me, I was just like,
That was it.
yeah, that was right. It brought it into because it made me start to value the people that's around me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, you because when you young, and that's why I understand these youth so well. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was young, I didn't care about life. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
I was running
Agree.
around not even care. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna make it to 21. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
I'm not gonna
Couldn't
live
see
that
it.
long. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yep.
I'm not even worried about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just
Yep.
be a young gunner out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go out in the blaze of glory. Like that was the
Right.
highlight. Like that
Yep.
was something to be looking forward to when it wasn't. You
Agree.
know what I'm saying? Even jail in itself, that was just like
Facts.
passage.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A rite of
Yes.
passage in our
Yep.
community, and we gotta ultimately change that whole narrative. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you
Well, you doing that.
and
You
myself
doing that, bro.
striving to do. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Changing that whole narrative because jail ain't nothing to be looking forward to,
It's
preparing your
trash.
mind for,
That's
or
right.
putting even on your goal list. Like, yeah, I want to go. Nah, bro,
Facts.
not at
Facts.
all. Ain't nothing attractive about that at all.
None
You
at
know what
all.
I'm saying?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? That's
Nothing.
why I'm fortunate enough to say I was one and done. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
was a quick
Right.
learner in that aspect to be like, yo, I went to jail one time and I ain't going back. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That number 7 always lays hard on me. You know what I mean? About, you know what I mean, the turtle winning the race. Always take my when I
Yeah.
find myself
Yeah.
at times just speedballing, trying to do too much. I'm like,
Yep.
yo, take your time, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Take your time, get it right. Everything that's out there for you is gonna be there. It's gonna come to you. Just take your time. You know what I'm saying? And just making sure that you progressively and tenaciously pursuing your goals.
That's right.
Number 8, balance is key. Too much of anything is no good. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with everything in life. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep things balanced. You know what I'm saying? Your work life, your family life. You know what I'm saying? I even make the example of, how water is the life elixir. You know what I'm saying? We all need water in order to survive and
Yeah.
to live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On a daily
Yeah.
basis. But you can die from over drinking
Too much.
water. You know what I'm saying? Water
That's right.
intoxication. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
too much of anything is not good. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you always stay in balance with everything that you got going on in life, even the good things. You know what I'm saying? Keep that balance. You know what I'm saying? Number 9 is you can't be real with anyone else if you're not real with yourself. That speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's one of the reasons why you and I have built the relationship that we have always had throughout these years. Because we never did no fuck shit to one another. You know what I'm saying? We never did no sucker shit. We never, know what I mean? And we
Hmm.
always kept it solid. Just like, you know what I mean? In every
Facts.
business
Facts.
dealing,
Facts,
anything
bro.
that we got
Facts. Been
going on,
solid.
I mean,
Same person. You the
we
same
met,
person I met day one.
we met each other doing something that has really literally changed my life, and that was being a father. We met each other on the realm of being
Being
fathers,
father.
taking
Yes.
our children to
That's a
daycare. You
fact.
know what I'm saying? And that's the
Yep.
realest
Yep. Yep.
and most that was the most pivotal and transformative time in my life when I became a father. You know what I'm saying? So
Same
for
here.
being a
Same here.
father,
Yep.
not having my father, you know what I'm saying? My father passed away when I was 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? So not having
Same.
my father in my life, you know what I'm saying? And then having the opportunity to be a father consistent and actually see my children grow up, yo,
Yes. Yes.
it's nothing more gratifying than that, man. So all those
Facts.
different aspects that we connect on, you know what I'm saying, just heads on that point or that
Hmm.
rule of being real with yourself and if you're not real with yourself, you can't be real with
With
anybody
others.
else.
That's
And
right.
number 10 is you only as young as you feel. Keep your
Ooh.
mind, your body, and your spirit active and fresh.
Yes.
And
Yes.
whatever you do,
Yes.
always stay fresh and fly.
Ah, yeah, love that. That's what's up. And so
Yeah.
those are the 10 values. Those
Yes,
is
yes.
fire,
Yeah,
bro.
that's the
Those
10
is 10
golden
fire.
rules.
Those are fire.
Yes.
So at Tech Valley, we got some, and I see some correlation between. And for our listeners out there who's tuned in, the Roadmap to Success program that I have when I'm working with the brothers in Green, or Schenectady County Jail, is all about helping them find success in the workplace. And one of the things I identified quickly was most individuals who've been incarcerated don't even know that organizations have values or missions. Um, And what just went through were his company's values. And so that's what they stand for. And as you're building a company, it's important that you have a value and a mission, because if as long as the goal isn't for you to always be the sole proprietor or the one running the business, eventually you want it to operate in a certain light. And your values and your mission are how you're going to train your team and your customers what the expectations are from your organization. And so at Tech Valley, clear communication is one of our values. Make mama proud is one of our
Mhm.
values. Win together, lose together is one of our values. Customer obsession is one of our values. And as well as respect. Those are our five values. And so everything we do, if we're not living up to those things, then our organization ain't the right organization for you. And that's how I expect myself and my team to show up in everything we do. But to Justin's point, most of these values, like he said, your business is a reflection of your mind and what you do. And so these values are going to be key to the person who created that organization. And I just love those values because they're true life values that you need just to be successful in general. Like, even if it ain't about being successful in business, just being a good individual, you'll be living these sorts of values. And so, bro, those is fire. Like, I can't even hold you. Like, I really appreciate you sharing those for
Yeah,
real.
thank you, man. Thank you. Yo, and they be, I even they keep me grounded. Know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
That's
As
right.
a whole. Know what I'm saying? They just
That's
not
right.
for everybody else. I give them to everybody, but me as a person, if I'm not living up to those golden rules, then it ain't even right. Know what I'm saying?
That's
So
a whole
those are
fact,
my
bro.
rules. I always got to check back in, like, yo, are you upholding these rules? Because
Yes.
and number
Yes.
seven is key to me. That's why I say that all the time. Is because I oftentimes find myself doing too much or moving too fast or just being like, yo,
Yep.
all over the place sometimes. And I just be like, yo, you gotta take a break.
Reel it in.
Breathe, bro. Take
That's
your
right.
time,
That's
slow
right.
down, you know what I'm saying? And always remember that the turtle won the race, man. Don't be that silly rabbit that, you know what I'm saying, that's running all over the place like a chicken with his head cut off, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That always brings up a funny analogy for me because I'm like, yo, you know, I call people coyotes sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo,
Mm.
you come up with these acme schemes, you know what I'm saying? And you buying all of these things to try to get the road runner, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, in my mind, I'm like, if you got all this money, why don't you just buy a road runner? You going through all of
Mm.
these, you know what I'm saying, buying all of these gadgets to try to catch the road
Facts.
runner. Go get you a
Facts.
road runner. You know what I'm saying?
Just go get the road runner. Go buy you one, yo. That's
Buy
fire.
you
That's
one.
fire.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Like, yo,
fact.
what are we doing? You know what I mean?
What are we
Like, go
doing
buy
with
the
these
road runner. You know what I'm
schemes?
saying? Go buy you one. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's it.
love it. That's
I
fire.
always that always tickle me when I look at the cartoon because I you know we all been kids we
Yeah.
watching the
Yeah.
road on the
Yeah.
cartoon and as I got older I'm like yo you know what I'm saying you'll see people every day that have a million and one acme schemes but not thinking
Facts.
about how they
Facts.
actually you know not fully thinking them through. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Hmm.
where we play a big part in stepping in and teaching people real business. You know what I mean? Sense
That's right.
and acumen so that we can grow their business or help them grow
That's right.
in the right way or think about things in totality. You know what I mean? So
Yo, and I just want to say, and I know out of sake of time for everyone, we try to keep these interviews, around 40 minutes. I know we went over a little. It would be, it would be blasphemy of me not to at least ask one more question. It's a question I always like to ask. But before I go to that question, for our listeners, yo, number 7 on just list is an important one. When you come home, you're gonna feel like you gotta move fast, like you making up for missed time. Nah, the time is gone. You can't make time up. Time is one resource that once it's gone, it's gone. You'll never get that minute back. Don't feel like you got to speed. Be more
right.
strategic and slow down. That's the winner. That's the turtle. That's the tortoise. And so I couldn't agree more, bro. It's more about taking more time to really expand on your ideas and figure them out than just going out and running super fast. But with that being said, let me jump to this last question. Out of respect of your time as well. And so, my last question that I want to ask you is, what advice would you give the 17, 18, 16-year old Angelo, um, looking back at who you are today, to kind of skip past some of those experiences that you had? And that could also be information that could help the next person listening in to super speed themselves up to success today?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that question in twofold
Hmm.
because I think that all the experiences that I had was key in making and developing me into the person that I
I
am
agree.
today. So
I
I
agree.
think
I
that
agree.
it wouldn't have, if I didn't have those life experiences that I had, it wouldn't have
Hmm.
qualified me to be able to talk to the young man that's in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
I
Or
agree.
the young man that's doing time or something like that, or that's locked up, or that's about to get sentenced, or that's about to do the wrong thing, that's out here being a shooter,
Yep.
or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those experiences qualified me to be able to be like, yo, offer some guidance to them and be like, yo, know what I mean? You shouldn't do
I
that.
agree.
And I'm gonna tell you
I
why.
agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm gonna give
Yep.
you all the reasons why that's not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluate that whole situation. And if I
I
didn't
agree.
go through all the experiences that I went through, then I wouldn't have been qualified in order to do that. But on the
Hmm.
flip side of that, I think that mainly the things that I could have done looking back to avoid those situations was make the people that I was around change them. You know what I'm saying? And it really wasn't a
Mm.
change thing. I
Mm.
think that, because
That's a good
I think
point.
that all the things that I did, you know what I mean, when I really think about it, you know what I mean, I did it because of that was the culture of
Mm. Mm.
our lifestyle at that time. You
Hmm.
know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
That's what we seen. That's what we knew.
it was bigger. It was bigger than me
Hmm.
just saying like, "Yo, change my friends." You know what I'm saying? Stop.
Hmm.
But you know what I mean. It was instances where it was times where I was like, "Yo, I'm not messing with this dude no more." You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
I see that you're not really a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm. That's a good
I
piece.
put myself in a situation, and it may have been because of my own doing, but at the same time, if you was really my friend, you would have talked me off that ledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You would have
That's
told
right.
me to just
That's
chill.
right.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So when I see situations like that, you know what I'm saying? You got to check that from that point of reference as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because people that really want you to do well and be well is gonna always be like, yo, bro, nah, chill. Don't do
That's
that.
right.
That ain't the right
That's
thing to
right.
do. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That shit ain't about nothing. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a
So
fact.
that you got to check people in that sense too. So those people that's not healthy for your life and your existence, and even just living another day to do bigger and better things. If we on the road to riches, you know what I'm saying? Don't short me by getting me into some dumb shit that ain't even worth a nickel. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? And if
Facts.
the peoples are
Yep.
doing nickel and dime shit, you know what I'm saying, and getting you involved in nickel and dime shit where y'all already made agreement that we on to thousands and
On some
millions
bigger
of
stuff.
dollars, then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? You gotta get
Right.
rid of those people, you know what I'm saying, and separate yourself from those people, places, and things. So I would just say
Yes.
that would
Yes.
be one of the main things. You know what I mean? Always be conscious of the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you are aware that they have long-term effects. You know what I'm saying? And set
Oof.
those goals for yourself. You know what I mean? If you ain't got goals in mind, you know what I'm saying? Having goals will really put you on a trajectory to really avoid a lot of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
avoid a lot of
Yes.
things. Because if you got a goal in mind, even if it's, you know what I'm saying, I'm big on not being a person that want to tell somebody to do something different if I don't got
Mm.
nothing different to offer them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know what I mean? I
Mm.
feel like a lot of times, we be putting that. I'd be like, yo, get off the corners, this, that, and the third. I want to, and I know that you are big on that as
Yeah.
well. Like, yo,
Yep.
I want to be able to give you a job. Like, you know what
That's
I'm
it.
saying? So
Yeah.
I
That's
can
it.
say, like, yo, this is more beneficial for you right here. Show up over
Right.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Be like, you know what I'm saying? Frank White did on the train. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could have took y'all out right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So come see me at the car. You know what I'm saying? And ask for Frank White. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all a job because I see y'all going down the wrong way and y'all
Yes.
nickel and diamond right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but we
Yes.
want to do that in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Lead them off the streets and being able to offer them something different. So, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? When you set those goals for yourself and you like, yo, this is what I'm aiming at. It might be some a car. You know what I'm saying? It might be buying a house, but those things will keep you out of a lot of situations because it's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
all right, I ain't going over there. I ain't going to the club tonight to spend this type
Hmm.
of money. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I'm focused
Hmm.
on this. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yep.
I know that I got to spend time studying for this exam. and doing this in order to pass this test, in order to get this, you know what I mean, in the direction that I'm going with my education. So all
Yep.
of these things, by setting those goals for yourself, I would tell my
Mm,
17-year-old say to make sure
mm,
that you have those goals set and stick to them, so that you
yes,
are avoiding all the other things that's going to take you off of from take you from achieving those goals. You know what I mean?
bro.
So
That's
yeah.
a fire response, and I couldn't even agree more. Goals are everything. They keep you in alignment. They keep you out of bad situations at times. They keep you focused on where you need to go. And
Mhm.
then, like you said, man, changing those people, places, and things. Because if it ain't the right person, it ain't the right fit for you. You gotta let that person go. That was a part of my growth when I came home. I put myself in a bubble. I stopped hanging out with the people I was hanging with. I just it was me, my wife, my mom, and my daughter. And that was just my mindset. I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me to keep our little bubble tight. Fuck everything else that's happening in the world. I know what my goals are and where I want to go, and I'm gonna just stay down, put my head down until I come up. Like Jeezy said, stay down till you come up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then even when you come up, still stay down and
Right.
just keep grinding. You know what I mean? And that's been the mindset. And so bro, I really appreciate you making some time to be here today to just share some of your story, but even more so than just your story, sharing some nuggets and wisdom with our listeners because you just provided a lot of practical advice that I think anybody can apply to their lives immediately. And I'm a firm believer that success leaves clues. Like
Mhm.
there's no special rule book or no secret sauce to this shit. It's all out there already on how
Right.
to be successful. You just got to execute it.
That's a
And
fact.
I think you shared some of those jewels and broke it down that our listeners could really understand it. So I appreciate you, bro, for that.
Thank you for
Um,
having me, man.
Most definitely. Before we wrap it up, please tell the people where they could purchase your book. Please tell them where they could find your handles on the social medias. Please tell them what's next and what's coming down the pipeline. And please tell them how they could order from your store so they could enhance their swag as well.
Yes. Freshandflyinc.com. That's the website. You know what I'm saying? If you want to pull up, you in the area, 13 South Pearl Street, Albany, New York, where we don't create swag, we enhance it. That's the
Mm,
brick and mortar location. Our website, we ship all over the world. So that's freshandflyinc.com. You can also purchase the book off of the website. I have changed the world by changing yourself on my freshandflyinc.com website. It can also be purchased on Amazon. I will prefer if you purchase it from our website, because that way
that's right.
we get all the proceeds. You know what I'm saying, and not
That's
to
right.
have to bring it down. But you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? So you can also get it off at Amazon. I just released the audio book as well, and that is
Mm,
on Audible. Is at Barnes and Noble. Is on Spotify. Is on Apple Music. Is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So tap
oh,
in, change the world by changing yourself by Angelo Maddox. You know what I'm saying? So tap into that. You know what I mean? If you ain't a big avid book reader, then you can hear the audio book. You can listen to it in your car while you're
yep.
working out. You know what I'm saying? Just get the jewels and the information that's within that book. You know what I'm saying? Is definitely a success manual. You know what I'm saying? Something that
Mm,
can help you grow and give you the tools necessary to achieve anything, achieve any goal that you set for yourself. uh,
right.
Motivation Money Making Monday. I do that every Monday. You know what I'm saying? I release all that on all social media platforms. You can check me out at Angelo Justice Maddox on Facebook, Mr. Swag on Instagram. That's Mr. S. W.A.G underscore Mr. Swag. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, on LinkedIn, I'm Angelo Maddox Jr. And on I'm even on TikTok as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mr.
That's right.
Motivation Money Making Monday. You know what I'm saying? So check me
Mm,
out on any of those platforms right there. And what's up coming up next? You know what I mean? We got this clothing brand that I look to get in all the facility. Of course, I'm gonna make sure that they facility approved, fresh in, fresh out, because that's
hmm
where it all starts. It all starts from within. You know what I'm saying? Well, at that time, if you're doing time, you locked up, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you're doing and taking the necessary steps to build yourself and ready yourself for
That's right.
success when you
That's right.
come home. It don't start when
Right.
when you get
Mm-hmm.
released. It starts
Mm-hmm.
from right now. So if you start taking
Mm-hmm.
those steps right now, you start building and preparing yourself for the success that you want. You got to be prepared for the success. You know what I'm saying? That you want. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Right.
uh get ready, you got to be ready. You know what I'm saying? So fresh in, fresh out. Look out for that in all the facilities, residential facilities and correctional facilities. When you see this logo, know what I'm saying? It's black owned business right here, and it's gonna be everywhere. You know what I mean? So check out for that. That's the next step in the process, and many more things. You know what I'm saying? More books, movies. I'm turning Motivation Money Making Monday into a
Uh,
multimedia platform. You know what I'm saying?
uh.
So you know what I mean? It's gonna be big. I'm here to conquer it all.
Bro, that's what I love to hear, man. And definitely tap in. I can tell you this is a good brother right here. He's one of those brothers that he's not just saying it, he's living it. He gives back. He goes back, he taps into helping in the community, in the schools, in the prisons, in the detention centers for the youth. He's a real one. And so I just want to once again thank him for being here. And as always, in the wrap up, we want to thank you guys for tuning in today because you could be
Absolutely.
anywhere in the world, but you're here with us and you're allowing us a little bit of your time and that time that you'll never get back. And so we just want to make sure we're giving you some real practical advice and we're helping you level up, get to that next level. And so, once again, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Prison Bosses. And until the next time, stay up.
Peace.
Good stuff, bro. That was good, bro. That was a good one.